So, Natalie, thank you so much for joining us at Infamous Horrors and Infamous Interviews today. How did you get involved with Blackbird?
So a producer who I'd worked with before recommended me to the Blackbird team, and I chatted with them. I first talked to Mikkel Roscom, who was the first directed the first 3 episodes, and we really hit it off, shared a lot of the same sensibilities. And then I talked to Dennis Lehane and the rest of the producing team, and we also hit it off, and they liked my visual ideas, and and then it was just off to the races from there.
So this is my first time interviewing a DP. If you can take us through the day on set of a life of a DP, what do you do to help with the filming technique?
Okay. So, I mean, every day is different, and then
right.
A lot of the same things you do. Like every project is completely different, so it's always a new adventure. But I guess the best way to sum it up is a day, because there's different, aspects. There's pre-production and production and post-production.
Right. Yeah.
Much. And then in between projects and all of that. But I guess, a day in the life on set is, I like to get there early, sort of get my bearings, look at the set, kind of think through the plan, and, think through lighting and everything. And it's, first rehearsing with the actors and blocking, and the director and I, executing our plan or straying away from it, just, whatever makes sense. We talk about, how we want to shoot each scene, and then the actors go away to hair and makeup, and then that's really my time to light the sets, and then they come back and we shoot the first setup and rinse and repeat until 12, 14 hours later, and then I crashed in my bed and wake up and do.
So I forgot to mention this at the top, but congratulations on your Emmy nomination.
Oh, thank you so much.
And were you kind of taken aback, or how ecstatic were you when you got the Emmy nomination?
Oh, very. I was very taken aback and excited, and it still feels pretty surreal. It's my first Blackbird, my first TV series. So this is my first Emmy nomination. So yeah, I'm very proud of the work, and just completely excited and very, very honored.
And did you get to work with any of the cast or directors and all during Blackbird, or were you just there before everybody got there to do your thing?
What do you mean?
Like, did you get to work with any of the directors on the lighting and all that type of stuff?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. I prepped with Mikkel, who was the first director the most, just because, he started the series, and we had, I think, about 5 or 6 weeks of prep together. And then, and then working side by side with him. And then when the other 2 directors, Tim McKay and Joe Sapel, came in, I had a little bit of prep time with them before we started shooting. So we actually, after Mikkel's episodes, we stopped, I think it was like a week or so, and then I prepped with the next director, and then we started shooting again.
So you said this was your first TV series as well. So that sets the bar extremely high for you to get an Emmy nomination for it too.
Yeah. And that's what makes me really proud of it. It because it was my first adventure into episodic, and I had the opportunity to shoot the entire series, which happens, but more often than not, it's usually, a couple, 2, 3 different cinematographers who alternate, just because TV is so long.
Right. Yeah.
But it was a great opportunity, and I was excited about it, to be able to create the look, and I got a lot of creative freedom, and to maintain the look throughout. So it was really all of my sensibilities, of course, in collaboration with the directors and Dennis and everyone else. But it was an exciting chance for me, sort of prove to myself that I could do it. Um, it was the longest shoot I've ever done. So it was a really good test of stamina.
Right.
It's like it was like a 95-day shoot. So
Oh, wow.
Long time. Yeah.
That's almost like the length of a feature film going on that long.
It was longer, actually, because if you think about it, it's, 6 1-hour episodes. So it's like 6 movies in a way, and, one big challenge was we didn't shoot it by episodes. So we block shot it. So basically we shot everything like one big movie across the entire series. So, in any given day, we could be shooting, a scene from episode 2 and then scene maybe from episode 1. And we could do that because, I was only cinematographer, and it was set up that way. But, it was just keeping all of that kind of in your head, and making sure things feel, consistent, and keeping track of, the arcs in the cinematography. So that was a lot. It was just like kind of a film times 6, basically.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that had to be tedious or tremendous, however you look at it. It has to be, so fun or nerve-wracking to do all that across 6 episodes as well.
Yeah, absolutely. But I had a great team, my crew across all my departments, and camera, electrics, and grip were absolutely fantastic. And, it was, everyone was just at the top of their game, and I attribute a lot of it to them, because I'm nothing without my amazing crew. I can't do this on my own. So,
right.
Yeah.
And did you get to watch Blackbird as well?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. It's hard to watch objectively, as is anything.
Right.
I was a part of the color grade. So, I graded, worked closely with my colorist, Natasha Leonette, and
oh, wow,
graded every single episode, every single frame. So yes, I watched it a lot. And then when it came out, watched it again and tried to be objective, but it's always hard.
Yeah, it's always like, I could have done this better. I could have
exactly
that instead of this. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. Totally.
So what goes into color grading as well? You mentioned that you worked on that.
Yeah, so color grading is like the last piece of the puzzle. It's like the icing on the cake. Right. So it's really just, fine tuning the look, it's maybe some area, just getting the contrast just right, getting the highlights and shadows where I want them, the actual color, the warmth, the coldness, whatever, to feel consistent across the board, matching everything, maybe there's some things that like you can't get to on set. If like there's a wall that in the background that felt too bright on set, in the color grade, I could take that down and make it darker, little things like that. So it's all of those, it can become very tedious as well. But yeah, it's really just the finishing touches that just really makes the images sing.
So after you said all of that, what did you not do on this project?
Oh, a lot. I mean, my world is camera, lighting, and color, but so much before I even get on set, to point my camera at something or even light it, there comes production design and costume design, which is huge, which is so much heavy lifting of where I point my camera. I can have the most beautiful lighting, but if the set doesn't look great, then it really doesn't matter, or if the costumes don't look great, if it's not feeling cohesive or not creating a certain mood or telling story. So I worked closely with our production designer, Charisse Cardenas, and Amy Roth, our costume designer, and we really focused a lot on color palette. And then, of course, the actors just bring it all to life. And just amazing, like when, you're framing up with stand-ins who are wonderful, they leave and then the actors come in and they just, every time, I'm just always so blown away about how actors just transform the frame.
Oh, yeah, especially Karen and Paul in this.
Yeah.
Especially Paul.
Yeah. And a lot of the heavy lifting comes from them. They're, Blackbird, as far as like camera movement, a lot of it was about restraint and not moving the camera and just sitting kind of uncomfortably in their performances, and letting the tension build through not moving the camera. And we didn't have to a lot of times, because their performances were so strong and because just the non-movement really sort of complemented that tension that was building.
Well, Natalie, what's up next for you? What other projects do you have currently?
I actually just wrapped a film. I was shooting in New York. Just got back like a week ago. The film is called The Shallow Tale of a Writer Who Decided to Write About a Serial Killer. So another
interesting title.
But this is kind of the opposite of Blackbird. It's starring Steve Buscemi and John McCall and Britt Lauer. And it's a dark comedy, so that's all I'll say about that. But we literally just wrapped. So we wrapped just like, I don't know, maybe just like 24 hours before the SAG strike. So we made it just in time. So that'll be probably coming out sometime next year. So now I'm just taking a break and reading some scripts and figuring out what's next.
Well, Natalie, thank you so much for joining us today. It's been fun, and congratulations on your Emmy for your work on Blackbird.
Thank you so much, AJ. I appreciate it. Nice chatting with you.